Good evening, everyone. I believe we'd like to get started. I appreciate your attentiveness to come in and sit down and visit with us for a little bit. We will make this program relatively short, but it's so nice to see so many people here in person and not looking at you through a computer screen or something else. So we thank you for coming out tonight, supporting our organization, and most importantly tonight to celebrate the success and the legacy of a career lived by Jim McErlane here. And this is an evening of festivities and celebration for he and his family. So thank you so much for coming out and supporting us and recognizing the great contribution that Jim McErlane has made to Chester County's economic well-being and our society as a whole. So with that, I'd like to call this to order. And first, to do so, we would like to pledge allegiance to the flag. So please stand, and I will lead you in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Despite the festivities of tonight, I regretfully have to share some sad news. Many of you in the room perhaps know what I'm going to reference, but when I came to work on Monday morning and we had some staff come together, they said, "Did you hear the tragic news this week?" I said, "No, I didn't hear it." A dear friend of our organization passed away tragically and suddenly over the weekend. That was Rich Graver. Many in the room knew Rich. He was President CEO of Victory Bank, great volunteer in our Seco affiliate company, and served on our executive committee. Was there tentatively, always sitting in the same seat. On those Friday mornings, we'd see Rich and making great contributions. Unfortunately, he passed too soon, and in that regard, I just wanted to express our sympathies to his family, and most importantly here to Holly Graver. I think everybody in this room probably knows Holly. Holly was his spouse. Holly was actively involved in our organization. Seco was Rich, and Holly was the Development Council, and did so much work for us and contributed their time, their energy, working with our team and our staff to put the events like this together. So to Holly and her family and extended family and friends, we really want to remember them at this time, and I think it would be appropriate to have a moment of silence and some reflective thinking. Thank you. It just reminds us of how precious life really is. And Rich and I were scheduled to be here this evening with us, but we never know from day to day. So just due to God's good grace, we're here just by his mercies. We just thank you for that time of reflection thought. So with that in mind, I wanted to start our event a little bit by making some introductions and some opening commentary, a little bit about the honoree today. It's not a roast, Jim, so I won't roast you, but I have a lot of reflective thinking. This man has mentored me personally. He does not know that as much as perhaps I do, but we have a lot in common. And I think the commonality of what we have been through in our lives and experiences here, we both grew up in Chester County. We're both natives of this county, different parts of the geography, centered around the Downtown community and Jim around the Malvern community. But I was sharing with him earlier in this family that I was actually born within East Whiteland Township on a farm, and we had a lot of experiences there. His Uncle Tom Filippo and Tommy's here this evening. We just have a lot of commonality, I thought. My father and Tommy's father were very good friends. So in that respect, just knowing Jim, when I came to the Development Council in January of 1976, Jim was on our board, and Jim was a very active member. In fact, his tenure sort of grew in maturity on the board. He was a practicing lawyer here in Chester County for over 50 years, one of the founders, obviously, of the McErlane firm and the senior partner today, managing partner. And I guess the thought that came to me as I started knowing Jim and all the reflective things that came back, we're also both Eagle Scouts. And I think, you say, well, that's kind of passé. Well, Eagle Scouts, we don't think so, right, Jim? Eagle Scouts, hey, let's go for the Eagles. Hey, there's Jeff Spencer in the back room, the Boy Scout himself. So Jeff is our executive officer from the scouting program. Thank you, Jeff, for coming out this evening. And because of that, the training that scouting gives us, it gives us that community service. It instills principles of our nation and what's important in life and priorities and how to handle yourself and how to treat others and just learn some common sense, right? I mean, that's what I think a lot of us need today. So the scouting program is a wonderful program, and we sort of had that in common. And similarly, as Jim kind of continued to grow in public service, I observed a lot of this from Jim, and he chaired our Transportation Committee on the Development Council. This is before Chester County Transportation Management Association and all these organizations were created. We did a lot of this. The Exton Bypass, the connector, that 5.5-mile route between the old bypass where it ended outside of Downingtown all the way over to Route 202 didn't exist. You had to get off and go Old Business 30. Jim led that initiative for us. Jim, I remember very distinctly working with the delegation, because of his affiliations with Bill Lamb at the time and Bill Lamb's connections within some of the public circles that he had, was able to bring in very distinguished people. Like Bud Schuster had a helicopter we brought in here, and we dropped him in there and showed him the pictures of how gridlocked that intersection was. And Jim was able to get the delegation here, and Elder Taylor, again, for the state representative that was here, she said, there'll be a lot of fathers of this bypass, but I'll be the only mother. I remember that quote she had at the ribbon cutting. Elder Taylor, if you knew her, she was just a fire of energy, and she was before her time when, ladies and the female gender were involved in public service, elected officials. Just a wonderful mentor for a lot of us, too, in that regard. But we got that done, and it was through Jim's leadership. And there's a lot of more stories. And later we moved on. We have the Business and Industry Chamber for Chester County. It was an organization. There was no countywide chamber. We formed that and was involved. Jim chaired that initiative for us and grew that. We created publications and very first-class magazines. We did a lot of different work, created the first Chamber of Commerce countywide, which now is a separate entity, but it was all housed in one entity at one time, the Business and Industry Chamber for Chester County. That's what it was the business and industry, and we respected the local chambers to do different things they did for the real estate community. So we're here to talk more about Jim later, but just thank you for all that introduction and those comments as some personal reflections I wanted to share with Jim. But over the years, has always been out there showing by exhibit and example, sits on numerous boards and committees, and is unselfish of his time. And that's what this award's all about this evening. It's really somebody that can put together a distinguished career like anybody in the Hall of Fame. You have to show it every day as you get out there and do whatever you do. And I think that's what we're going to take away here this evening is some of the reflective experiences of Jim. So with that, it's my turn now to introduce my boss and the chairman of the Chester County Economic Development Council, Craig Steyer, who is the partner with Fox Rothschild and chairman of the council board. Thank you, Craig.
Great. Well, thank you, Gary. It's great to be here this evening, to see everybody here, and welcome to the 2021 Hall of Fame Award ceremony. It's great to be back at the Foundry with all of you in person as we gather to honor a true Chester County icon, Jim McErlane. It's my privilege to be part of tonight's program where we'll celebrate the many accomplishments of Jim's career and the countless contributions he has made to our Chester County community. Before we begin the program, there are some special introductions and thank yous that I'd like to make. First, I'd like to extend a special welcome to the members of Jim's family and friends, as well as his colleagues from Lamb McErlane. Let me also extend a special welcome to the elected officials who have joined us this evening. First, we have Chair of the Board of the Chester County Commissioners, Marianne Moskowitz. Vice Chair of the County Commissioners, Josh Maxwell. County Commissioner Michelle Kickline. State Senator Carolyn Comita. Former State Senator Andy Dinneman. And the Chester County Prothonotary, Debbie Bookman. So thank you to all of the elected officials who have taken the time to join us this evening. We appreciate your ongoing partnership and engagement in our organization. The last item before we move to the program is to recognize and thank our many generous sponsors. The contributions from our sponsors not only make tonight's event possible, they also help to support the many programs and activities of the CCEDC runs throughout the year. I'd like to ask Gary to rejoin me at the podium to help me recognize our sponsors for this evening. First, we're going to start with the diamond sponsor, the Hankin Group.
In that regard, I thought my job, okay, I'm sorry, the Emerald sponsors, we were switching you back. So CTDI, Jerry Parsons and Company, thank you so much for coming out here. And also, the honoree this evening, the law firm of McErlane. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Joel.
Our Ruby sponsors, everybody obviously can hold their applaud till the very end. Bentley Systems, Cerner, Fox Rothschild, Gothrop Greenwood, Knickerbocker Lands, M&T Bank, Meridian Bank, PICO, and the Vanguard Group. Thank you all very much.
And lastly, I'd like to call your attention to the screens around the foundry. You're going to notice a lot of names of people. We have a total of 14 Sterling sponsors, 28 Sapphire, and a total of 54 sponsors, which is really incredible to have that many people come out and support this organization. So we want to thank you for that. But I want to, before we applaud those folks, I just want to tell you why that's so important. You know, it's great to come out tonight and see everybody. It's the first time we've been able to do that and get a tie correctly, hopefully, because we haven't done this for a long time. And so it's great to see so many people here. And thank you so much for coming out. And we're trying to be respectful to the protocols of the evening. But also let you know that, yes, you're supporting the dollar, and it's great to network and meet people, but most importantly, those dollars you give us enables our organization to be responsive, to pay for the things that need to be done in this county that we do not generate revenue, but need to be done. Whether most recently the Ida victims that we have had in this county and the COVID relief and all the different needs that companies are going through transition, that's what enables us to do it. So you're really helping, subsidize the operating cost of this organization with these dollars that we put into place. So thank you so much for that. And let's give everybody a big round of applause for this. Oh, I forgot.
That's all right.
I'm never well scripted, as everybody knows me. I'm so sorry, everybody. All right, now, one thing important, some other thank yous. So making these videos and doing all the things you're going to see later and all the production, there's a special person here who needs to be recognized, and he's a huge gentleman. I don't see him in the room, but CJ Witherspoon. And is CJ here with us? CJ may be outside somewhere, but CJ has done this relentlessly for years and years. He started QVC. QVC did this. He went on his own. He located a business in the city of Coatesville, Debbie. He's located, Debbie, up there, the Midway Arts Building, which is a great thing. And CJ is really has a dedicated staff that has worked to put this production together tonight. So we want to thank him for that, and we're going to see some work. And also, Jim Batty from JB Productions. Jim Batty makes all the technical work here, so thank you, guys. And Jim, if you're here, come out and take a bow. Oh, you are. There he is. Okay. All right. So thank you so much.
And a few final thank yous before we begin our presentation of the award. Kathy Field. Kathy Field does a wonderful job organizing this event with Kathleen Nader, both at the Economic Development Council. And Kathy Field, of course, leads our fundraising efforts, and all those who are sponsors know that Kathy will call you, sometimes repeatedly, until you sponsor. But we thank Kathy for all of her efforts. Please, yeah. We want to thank J. Scott Catering for the delicious cuisine we will enjoy, and their hardworking servers and bartenders who will take good care of us tonight. And lastly, we'd like to extend our thanks to Casey and Brady and the team at Meridian Bank for lending us their time, expertise, and technology as we greeted you with name tags at the evening this afternoon. Now it's time to transition and get to the reason why we're all here this evening, which is to honor Jim McErlane. To do so, I'd like to ask my predecessor as board chair, my good friend Marian Moskowitz, to join me on the stage, and she will lead our presentation of the award. But before I stand here. Before Marian makes her presentation, I want to take this opportunity to recognize Marian for all of her hard work leading the CCDC during the past 2 years. As you all know, not only did Marian serve as chair of our board, but she also serves as the chair of the county commissioners. Her leadership in both of these roles during the pandemic has been extraordinary. Marian is a wonderful leader, and more importantly, a wonderful person. She exhibited grace under fire during the pandemic, leading the county and the CCEDC with a steady hand throughout. The CCEDC enjoyed great financial success under her leadership, and as I've told everyone, I have very big shoes to fill in my new role as chair. So I ask all of you to join me in thanking my friend Marion for all that she did as chair of this organization and what she continues to do for the county. Thank you.
That was embarrassing. Thank you all. That's not why we're here tonight, but I appreciate that. Thank you. This is an amazing organization. It's been a thrill to be the chair of it during some difficult times, but we have such a great group of people working every day to make sure that Chester County remains vibrant and strong. So thank you. Thank you, Gary and Mike. So I'm so excited to be here tonight to present Chester County's prestigious, and that's an important word, prestigious Hall of Fame award to Jim McErlane. I first met Jim in 2014. I had heard his name for many years, but I first met him, he probably doesn't remember, in 2014, and he received the President's Westchester University Award. And I'm on the council of Westchester University. And all through the years that I had been a council member, we kept hearing Jim's name. Jim did this, Jim did that. Jim's such a great supporter of our university. And it just, it warms your heart to know that there are so many people out there that care. Jim's heart is as big as this room. And he truly is passionate about everything he does, including our Westchester University. But not only does he do a lot of community service, which you'll hear a lot about tonight, but he served us in the U.S. Navy in Vietnam. I mean, that's just incredible, and what an incredible time. Thank you. Luckily for me, I consider Jim a friend. He is one of those people you meet in life, you meet along the way on the path we leave, that has an impact on your life. And his smile and his grace has really infected me, and I thank you for that. Not only that, but we discovered that we have a lot in common, and one I just heard tonight. I was a Girl Scout, an Eagle Scout, but I was a Girl Scout, through cadets. But we also share a love and passion for rice pudding. Who knew? And we ate it at the same restaurant years ago. So some of those ironic things, our paths have crossed. Jim, you're so deserving of this award as it recognizes an individual's preeminent leadership, business acumen, and outstanding achievements within and beyond Chester County and its community. Winners distinguish themselves through exemplary efforts and unfailing vision to effectively lead their respective companies in the pinnacles of success. The Hall of Fame Award goes far beyond leadership. It honors community impact. It honors versatility and willingness to go the extra mile. It honors role models, mentors, advocates, and philanthropists. It honors those who have made lasting impacts on Chester County by forging new working relationships to create and maintain our economic health and unmatched quality of life. Past winners of the CCDC Hall of Fame include Ron Barchett and Bill Kowaleski, Claudia Hellebush, Jerry Parker, Tom Musser, Jack Lowe, Oscar Lasco, Tom Filippo, John Nash, Greg Bentley, John Bailey, Roy Weston, John Bogle, Perry Pepper, and Frank Baldino. We salute our past recipients tonight who are here with us. Mike Pia, I know I saw you somewhere. Is Mike here? He might be outside. Oh, there he is. Okay, the 2019 award winner. 2013, Tom Filippo. I know Tom's here. And our 2001 recipient, Bob Hankin, and Jerry Parsons, our 1997 recipient. Now I'd like you to turn your attention to the screen.
So we're very proud this evening to announce that Jim McErlane is the 2021 Chester County Hall of Fame Award recipient. Jim is such a terrific individual who symbolizes and represents this award in a noteworthy way because of his lifetime achievement of service, of community participation, civic responsibilities, and charitable giving. He spends as much time, I'm sure, practicing law as he does out in the community, volunteering his time, participating in initiatives, doing things that makes this county so special that we're all so proud to call it home and Chester County.
He gets his, I guess, work ethics from his family, his mother and his father. They're his role models. The house they lived in didn't have any running water. Aunt Melly would get up early to go to a local spring and bring water back so they would have water for breakfast. When they moved to Malvern, she worked at the Malvern Retreat House. Jim's father, Uncle Eddie, he worked at Bishop Tubes in Malvern. When Bishop Toole left Malvern, he then became an appliance salesman at Murray's and Paoli. None of those businesses exist anymore. But Jim watched his parents sacrifice to provide him the opportunities in life. Jim went to St. Patrick's School in Malvern. He then went to Malvern Prep. Malvern Prep, Jim went to Villanova University and acquired a law degree. Of all the people I've known, Jim spent his life in libraries. Not for me. After graduating, Jim then joined the Navy, which is a great attribute for him at the time, but he then volunteered to go to Vietnam.
Well, I grew up in the 50s. We were coming out of the Korean War. I had 3 uncles who served in World War II. Another uncle who was always a hero of mine was a naval officer. And he went to the Naval Academy and then wound up coaching there. And the military was something that we all accepted as part of our lives and really took pride in. And so when my term came, when I finished law school in 1967, I joined the Navy.
But while in the Navy, Jim met Robbie Sayersmith, who became his wife. So there's kind of a blessing in disguise. They have 2 daughters. They also have now 2 grandchildren.
Jim loves talking about his 2 grandchildren, Lily and Julian. You get him talking about them, the gleam comes in the eye, the excitement in the voice, and he loves talking about their escapades, and we like hearing about them. He gets very excited to travel west to see them because, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your point of view, they're in California. So I know he loves going out there with Robbie to see them, and it certainly welcomes them when they come back east as well.
Jim and I met back in 1976, so that's over 45 years ago. What was the common bond? We were both Eagle Scouts. And I think, when you meet a scout, you're always a scout, and Jim has lived a professional life that's symbolic of what scouting is all about. It's giving back to others, being of service, being a community citizen, and Jim McErlane certainly has exhibited those qualities over his professional career.
To improve the community improves everybody. It's an investment in the community. It gives me personal satisfaction, so I guess that's a selfish element. But to be involved in activities that lift the community, that benefits everybody, and it comes back. So the more that we can do for those organizations, the better off we are as a society. I was an Eagle Scout in Malvern Troop 7 back many years ago. Eagle Scout meant a lot to me because when I was applying for the Navy program, the Judge Advocate General's program as a lawyer, I went through interview process, and I was probably the 52nd or 53rd person interviewed at the Philadelphia Navy Yard for a position in the Navy JAG Corps. And when I was talking, the officer said to me, "What distinguishes you from the other 50 people that I've talked to today?" And I had no answer. And he looked down and he said, "You're an Eagle Scout." He said, "I was an Eagle Scout. Come on, let me introduce you to the commanding officer." I said, "Fine." So we walked up, went down the hall to the commanding officer, and they recommended me. And that was the one thing that put me apart from 50 very capable, I'm sure smarter people than me. I got in the Navy JAG, and it was a great moment.
This McErlane law firm and its founding partners have shown over 50 years of service to this county's economy. They have been actively involved in a lot of service to other businesses and industry, municipalities, other citizens in this county who need good legal advice. So Jim has been part of that from the founding days of this practice.
I would often go to Jim for counsel. I was a Democrat and he was a Republican, but it made no difference. He was a good friend and he would help me out. And he'd help me understand issues. He helped me understand the personalities involved and what I needed to do to achieve the objective. And if he didn't agree with the objective, he'd tell me. And so he was a very important person to me.
Yeah, Jim McErlane is deserving of tonight's award, unquestionably. He's a stalwart in the community network, wide-ranging network. Is a gentleman whose word you can rely on, etc. Loyal to the end, and again, is approachable. Jim's available to anybody, whether it's me, younger associates, clients, outside folks. He's somebody that he's special, so I'm very happy that he's been bestowed appropriately with the award tonight.
Jim, it's our honor tonight to recognize you for behalf of your family, your friends, your corporate clients, all the people who love you, respect you, and honor you with this prestige award, Chester County Hall of Fame. You were made for this award, Jim. We thank you for accepting it. We thank you for all the years of service, of Lifetime Achievement Award here, of service to Chester County and all the communities that have benefited, the charitable organizations that have benefited, and me personally as a great admirer of you as you mentored me in my early days of my career. Thank you, Jim, and God bless you all.
I was born in Chester County. I had nothing to do with that. It was totally beyond my control. But it's got to be the greatest place to grow up and live and pursue a career and raise a family. In the practice, I've told people, that a rising tide lifts all boats, and our firm has risen over the years, but we've risen with the tide of Chester County. And this is where we live and work, and we've been very, very fortunate. If you just sort of sit back and let the tide roll with you, sometimes you come out ahead, and I think that's what I've done or tried to do.
And now it's my honor to present Jim with the Hall of Fame Award. I'd like you to come up.
I don't know what to say. Thank you all very much for the award, and I thank the Development Council and all the people who've been involved in it. No man or woman, for that matter, is any better than the people around him or her. I've had family, my wife and daughters, and my wife even has a twin, so double the action sometimes. The people at the law firm, McErlane, have been great. My friends have been totally supportive, and I've been truly blessed. As I was reminded up there, Chester County is a great place to live, and I can't think of a better place to live and grow. I keep telling my grandchildren that. They're in Santa Monica, California. They've shown no indication whatsoever of wanting to come back, but I'd like to give them a chance, but probably not going to happen. The Development Council has been just a tremendous stimulus to Chester County in many, many ways, far beyond just economic development in terms of its culture, its quality of life, its values, and its levels of competence and benefit to the community. This building is part of a Development Council project. Jim Redding started, a lot of people in Phoenixville Mafia with like Marion and people. The Development Council provided grants and support. County commissioners, of course, the Phoenixville business community and Phoenixville council and local governments turned this place from an environmentally dangerous locale to an absolutely magnificent facility that is worthy of the people who come here. So I use that as an example of the kind of thing that I'd like to be involved in. Not everything was successful. Gary mentioned transportation. Back about 30 years ago, I thought it would be a great idea to take the Reading Railroad right-of-way from King of Prussia to Exton and put a trolley on it and have a line, people traveling from Exton to King of Prussia. That went down in flames, which is good because now it's the Chester Valley Trail, which is a great accomplishment. And I congratulate the county commissioners and local government officials who made that happen. So I failed, but Chester County came out ahead. So I don't want to take up any more of your time. I've been blessed with many good friends, and Gary mentioned some of our experiences. I wasn't as good as he said, but he's a great example. I remember when he graduated from Westchester University. He was the assistant to the then director of the Development Council, whose name was Hollywood, if I remember. And my uncle, Tom Philippa, was on the Industrial Development Authority then, and he said, "I like him." And that was about as good an endorsement of anybody that you could imagine. Listen, I don't want to take up your time. I thank you very much. I'm kind of overwhelmed by what I've heard here, but I want to thank again my family and my law firm, the people who are here, who've been so supportive of me. Again, we're no better than the people around us, and I've been very fortunate to have great people around me. So thank you very much.
Don't leave yet. Come up here. Don't leave yet, Jim. We have some more things to say about you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So there's a few people here who would like to give you some special citations as well, and the three county commissioners are here. So if the three commissioners would join us, please. Commissioner Mosevitz, Commissioner Maxwell, and Commissioner Kickline.
Where do you want us, Gary?
Right in front, if you thought.
Jim, this is an honor. I think you've heard everything that's in here, but it is such an honor that we commissioners share this with you, and you certainly are so deserving of this citation from all three commissioners. Chester County is like to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Move in for a picture.
That's right. Okay, and I know that I have a House resolution too, Jim, and I know you've done a lot of these in the past. Representative Herron could not be here this evening, but I will give you that in her behalf. And we also have somebody special here also this evening, Senator Carolyn Comita. Carolyn, please. Senator, please join us.
Good evening, everyone. And I would love to ask my friend and mentor, the dear Senator Andy Dinniman, to join me.
Thank you.
So, since I am representing the current senators in the Pennsylvania Senate, and I have a beautiful citation for my good friend, I thought it would be wonderful if Andy were able to stand here with me to present this citation of congratulations and appreciation from all of the senators of Chester County. And I was thinking about all the times that our paths have crossed, Jim, and what comes to mind is wise and steady and a good heart. And when you're with Jim and he smiles, you know everything is going to be okay. And I want to thank you for being there for so many of us in so many places for all of these years. And on behalf of the old senators and the new, we can both be in the old senators category. Congratulations and thank you. And Senator?
All I want to say, Jim, is congratulations. Carolyn, by the way, has done a superb job as your state senator, and I'm glad she got elected in my place. I also want to make sure we recognize Robbie here. Robbie and my wife are dear friends, and Jim, the four of us have done many things together, you, I, Robbie, and Margot. And what I said and wasn't in the video is every community needs a Jim McErlane to bring people together, and thank God we had Jim.
Yes.
Thanks, okay.
Thank you all very much. Andy just said he's getting his knee replaced. That was supposed to happen today. But he put it off so he could come here tonight.
All right, so that concludes our program tonight. I just want to, again, thank everyone for joining us. Thank you to our sponsors. And of course, congratulations again to Jim. It's so well deserved. And you're a great man. I've always known that. Great lawyer and well deserving of this recognition. So thank you and congratulations again. Before we adjourn, there is one logistical issue. Not an issue, but announcement to make. So I'd ask, once this concludes here, that everybody just head back over to the cocktail area so the catering folks can set this room up for chairs and for dinner. So thank you again. We look forward to seeing everyone next year. The bar is now open, and dinner will be served very shortly. Thank you all very much.